A girl again was a phrase that my father had to hear over and over again after I was born as a second daughter to them. My mother even cried as people taunted. However, my father consoled the entire family, saying that our daughters would be our pride. Thereafter began my journey with extremely supportive and encouraging parents. As a child, I was inclined towards academics. I have always been very passionate about teaching. With my own experiences in life, I believed strongly that a teacher has the power to transform lives. When I was in school, physics used to be the most difficult subject. Though I had been a bright student throughout, somehow the laws of thermodynamics, Einstein's theory of relativity, angular momentum, unlike the Newton's apple, went over my head. The twist in my story was this teacher who ran a physics boot camp and got me understand these concepts really well. And you know what? I was using terms like superconductors and protons in my sleep. Today, I teach physics to millions of students through my YouTube channel. That is the power of a good teacher. I joined the IT industry after completing my college. My passion for teaching was something that I was badly missing being in the industry. I still wanted to teach and reach out to the masses. Being in IT, I knew that internet has the power to reach out to millions of students throughout the world. Somewhere during the same time, my house help often complained that her kids who were studying in a small school in her native struggled with their studies and could never clear their exams. And this lady used to work day and night with just one aim in her life, to get her kids educated. But unfortunately, they were still deprived of quality education. Children without education are like birds without wings. They can't fly. Did you know that over 39% of the boys and over 33% of girls drop out from their schools even before they complete their elementary education? Lack of interest in studies, poor academic performance, need for employment to support their family are some of the prime reasons. This is where the idea to start a portal that would provide quality education free of cost came to my mind. So I started doing the groundwork to convert this idea into reality. So I started talking to a lot of children in my neighborhood, within my friend circle, in my relatives, and I came up with some very interesting observations. So once I was talking to this boy of class 11th in my neighborhood when he said that, I am very busy. I don't have time for self-study. Quite curious and surprised, I asked him, what keeps you so busy? And what he replied? He said, of course I am. Do you know, after coming back from school, I spent 3 hours in special classes and 3 hours in traffic. Can you believe that? A child of this age, when he should be studying, taking up a sport or music, is stuck in Bangalore traffic for 3 hours every day. In another such instance, I was talking to my niece, and when I casually asked her, do you know how this rainbow is formed? And my niece was a bright student at her school, and as always, very confidently she replied, oh yes, I do. Rainbow is formed by reflection, refraction, and dispersion of light by water droplets resulting in a spectrum in the sky. I was like, wow. I was amazed that she knew what refraction was. But then she smiled and said, I don't know what refraction is. In fact, I don't care. You know what? Whatever I told you just now is perfect. If I write this in my answer sheet, I am going to score full marks. That was when I realized that it was not only about her, but a lot of students who just mug up answers from their textbooks. It is very important that Children are exposed to the wonders of science, numbers, and geography. Education is not about mugging up your textbooks. It is about relating things that we see around us with what we study in our textbooks. It is very important that children must be taught how to think and not what to think. A lot of thoughts started coming to my mind. I thought, if you look at any critical service in our country, you talk about police, you talk about hospitals, we have a 24/7 support. In fact, most of the mobile operators these days have 24/7 support. What about education? Don't we think that it is more important, or at least equally important as that of the mobile operators? With all these observations, I was determined to start a portal that would provide good quality online education, absolutely free of cost, accessible 24/7 without any travel time involved. So that's when I started uploading the educational videos back in July 2011 on my YouTube channel. When I uploaded the first video, I was extremely excited, anxious, and nervous to see the response from the viewers. I was frequently checking my mobile phones. In fact, I was waking up in the middle of the night and checking my mobile to see if somebody viewed, if somebody commented. And then there came that moment when views started shooting up, people started commenting, and there somebody commented, "What you could explain in 10 minutes, my teacher could not explain in a week." And yes, that was the first sense of achievement. I felt that something that I was doing out of my passion is actually benefiting somebody else on the other side. And trust me, in no time, creating these educational content was not only my passion, but it became my addiction. And thereafter, there was no looking back ever. I would not say that this entire journey had been very smooth and easy. I already had a day job at HP, so managing time was very challenging. I spent several sleepless nights creating the content. I remember setting up an alarm and waking up at 4 in the morning to record a lesson. I slogged over the weekends. There was no time to rest. I finally resigned from my job in 2014. Again, that was a very tough decision. It was not going to be a smooth transition. It was a transition from financial independence to financial dependence on my family. It was a transition from working in an air-conditioned MNC where I could socialize with my friends and colleagues to a small room in my apartment with the sole company of my laptop. It was also a transition where I was working with a well-salaried, well-settled job to teaching with no concrete revenue model. But I'm happy that I did it. Today, I provide a one-stop platform that provides a complete educational package to students of class 6 to 12 with a simple 4-step learning process. More than 4,500 video lessons on physics, chemistry, mathematics, and biology have already been created for class 6 to 12. There are more than 100,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel and more than 3 million video views every month. Yes, the numbers are right and they are encouraging. There were a lot of people who discouraged me during the initial days. Some of them said, "How do you manage to do such boring stuffs like teaching physics, chemistry, maths, bio?" You know what kept me motivated? When a child from a small town writes to me that he never had access to good schools, good teachers, but only with the help of these videos, he could score 96% in his boards. That motivated me. When a student writes to me that he wanted to become a doctor since 6 years and he could clear his MBBS entrance exam with the help of these videos, that motivated me. When a teacher writes to me that these educational videos is making his teaching more fun, more interactive, that motivated me. When parents write to me that their children are loving physics, chemistry, maths now, that motivated me. When I was recognized as one of the 100 women achievers of India to meet the Honorable President, that motivated me. I very strongly believe that education has the power. It can bring the real empowerment to each and every citizen of the nation. I always aspired to become a teacher, and today I teach millions. Doesn't matter how weird your passion is. If you follow your passion with 100% determination, dedication, and hard work, trust me, you will do miracles. Thank you so much.